to the OMG Hour.
We'd like to dedicate this episode to the memory of our friend, our gaming archaeologist, Sid Bolton. Please join us at the end of this show as we share our memories of this amazing man. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 300 of the OMG Hour. It is June 14th, 2018. Of course, this is our big E3 show, so we are definitely going to go longer than an hour today. So sit back, relax, enjoy. I, of course, am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion-Tane.
And I'm Jeff, and you should also grab a beer, because that's what I'm doing.
A beer and a butter tart?
Beer and a butter tart.
I don't have any butter tarts. Do you have some? Give some to me. I need some of those.
Yeah, you got to bring snacks for everybody, Sean.
Well, it's a Canadian thing, so if you were real Canadians, you'd have a beer and butter tart.
Yeah. Tico, Mr. Second Place, here in the corner.
Welcome, Tico. Welcome to Glenn and to Brian, who are watching us right now, right at the top of the hour.
I think they have the bell selected.
They do.
They get noticed. So thank you guys.
Instant notification. There we go. Thanks for joining us. So before we jump into E3, I think each of us played something this week. But Jeff, since you were not here last week, you were off gallivanting in Vegas. Why don't you tell us what you played this week?
Aside from slot machines.
Aside from slot machines.
So, So here's the deal. I played The Witness, but I don't want to talk about The Witness. That's the least important part of this whole story. So you guys all know that, a couple months ago I started dating a new young lady, and she's sort of a gamer, but not really a gamer. And I've spent a lot of time trying to think of what game
you're working on her.
What game can I get her to play? And I saw that The Witness was on sale for nothing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy The Witness. Because it's first-person controls, which is good because it'll teach her how to do all the thumbstick stuff, right?
Right.
Which is one of the hardest things for a non-gamer to do. And it's puzzles, and who doesn't love puzzles, right?
Everyone loves puzzles, except
everybody
Tico.
loves puzzles.
Except Tico.
I love everything.
Tico loves puzzles if he can just shoot them with a sniper rifle at close range.
Listen, if you charge at the puzzle as hard as you can and smack into it, the pieces will fall into place.
Have you guys seen the show notes? Do you know how long they are? And you're interrupting with this joke again?
Just go.
Okay, so I was like, hey, babe, let's try out this game. I got you a new game. Look at this. And she's like, ooh, puzzles and blah, blah, blah. And I showed it to her, and we played it for friggin' every night for a little while. And then she spent, last Saturday, from the moment she woke up until the point she went to bed, playing the frickin' Witness. Going through, solving the puzzles, walking around. She was so excited when she learned how to be able to run so she could move faster and stuff like that. So I'm thinking I'm going to do it. I'm going to turn her into a gamer. She still would prefer to play on PC, but I'm getting there on the console stuff. So this is good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that was The Witness.
That was The Witness.
I haven't played The Witness. I have it, but I haven't played it yet, so I'm looking forward to it.
It's solid. It's actually a really good game.
Yeah, it is. I played.
The thing that I like about it, I don't want to dwell on this too long, but the thing that I like about it is that most puzzle games, I've been playing, I was playing Portal Bridge Constructor Set or whatever, and that game just gets harder and harder and harder and harder and harder until you get to the point where you're like, oh, okay, now it's just too hard for me and I'm never going to finish it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about The Witness is that instead of puzzles just getting harder and harder and harder, which they do get harder, but it's sort of like the same concept, but a bunch of different ways of approaching it and a bunch of different variations. So after you beat that one variation, the hardest one, when you get to the next one, it teaches you the next set. And it never gets too hard. It's kind of just you're just going through these puzzles series, and then it gets a little bit, once it gets hard, then you move to the next one, you get easy and you go to hard again. It's cool. Yeah. I really like it.
Let me say this. If you put it down and leave it for 3 months and come back to it, that's when it gets really hard.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Oh, no,
yeah.
no, God.
'Cause that's what I did. I'm like, I'm going to play this again. I'm like, I know they taught me how to do this, but...
yeah, some of the puzzles are pretty obscure.
Yeah.
So I last week I talked about Detroit Become Human, and over the past week I have finished my first playthrough. Absolutely amazing story. Loved every second of it. It is absolutely beautiful, and I am anxious to play it again. Apparently, from what I've found out, is I actually got the best ending available my first playthrough. There are so many different endings, right? But apparently I got the best ending. I got an achievement for keeping every character alive, which is, I mean, the ultimate ending, basically, right? So I kept all the main characters alive, got the best ending for all of them. It was quite satisfying that that's the ending I got. There were a couple times I kind of regretted some choices I made, just story-wise, but really looking forward to trying it again and kind of picking all those choices I wouldn't normally do. Just like, okay, let me see if I can get this character killed now. What happens if she dies? You know, just to see where it goes, because... Man, those...
So you're being evil now.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be evil the next time through. But again, there's so many different branches that you could play this like 10 times and get different pieces that you haven't seen before based on different branches and different... because the way some chapters end completely change where another chapter starts.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's very, very cool. I would love to see the entire flowchart for this game, like the entire thing all together on one screen. That would be amazing. But yeah,
get a poster made up.
Love the game, wonderful experience, and definitely worth playing again. Tico,
Awesome.
Tico, what have you done this week?
Well, I played a little bit more Vampire, which was fun.
Good.
Enjoying the RPG element of that. I also picked up what is it called, Jurassic
World Evolution.
World Evolution.
Pinball.
No,
There's
it
Jurassic
is.
Pinball. I saw it on the Switch.
There is a Jurassic Pinball, but this is a park builder, Jurassic Park builder. So it is a zoo tycoon set in Jurassic Park world. So you have the 5 island. Yes.
Sorry. Can you know how in Roller Coaster Tycoon where you can make roller coasters that kill people? Can you like put the bathrooms inside the Tyrannosaurus pen so that people can go get eaten by dinosaurs?
It won't. I don't think you can do that because I did try to. You can build buildings. Actually, I don't know if there are any bathrooms in my park. I should probably think about that. You can't put stuff inside of existing pens. But
can people get eaten by dinosaurs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can open up the gate. Like there's one mission early on. There's one mission early on where it's like, zoom in on the gate and click this to open to let this dinosaur out because they want to teach you how to like capture the dinosaurs. So you do that, and so he's chasing down people around the hotel, and because they're pretty slow to catch these things, and eating some guests, and that does cause your guest satisfaction level to go down a touch.
I bet. Yeah. Cool.
Probably worth it.
But it's a fun game. You have the five islands of Jurassic Park, so you have to build a different park on each one and sort of get your guest rating up and all of those. It's fun. It really feels akin to those like free ones that you can get on the iOS where you have to like use energy to do that. So I don't necessarily know if it's but you don't have energy or anything, but you do have to sort of wait out tasks and stuff like that and do research.
Okay.
So
I was hoping
long waits.
I was hoping to review this game as well, but I haven't heard back on it. So chances are now that it's out, it's probably not going to happen.
No, probably not. And now the movie's out in a couple of weeks too. So
yeah, exactly. Looking forward to the movie. But anyway, that is it for what we played. So let's jump into E3. Of course, the big gamers Christmas happened this week.
E3, what's that all about?
Never
heard of this thing.
It's the extremely enthusiastic elephants show.
I would watch that.
Anyway, so of course it's starting earlier and earlier every year. This year it started on Saturday with EA. Usually it was always Monday, and then I think it was Microsoft moved back, or was it?
It was Sunday night. Bethesda
Moved it to Sunday. And then Microsoft
Sunday night.
Yeah. Microsoft followed suit with Sunday. And then EA's like, well, we can do Saturday. So next year someone will be on Friday. I don't know.
Yeah, next year starts this coming Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, thoughts on the EA press conference?
Oh man, now it was so long ago.
Doesn't it feel like an eternity ago since this happened?
It was almost. It was just under a week ago now.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know. EA is kind of one of those press conferences where they try to hit something for everybody. Obviously, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about Anthem. But they had that Yarn game there again.
Unravel 2.
Unravel 2.
Available now. We'll get you that little check off on your bingo card.
Yeah.
Available now.
Chico wanted some available nows. There was actually a few available nows at E3 this year.
I think one of the big things that I was sort of interested in is the Super Origin service that you can subscribe to, where you get all the new games, like the Xbox service.
Did they say how much that was going to be?
It is $15 US per month, or $100 a year. So I thought that was pretty interesting, because that's kind of the service that it probably always should have been, to get the new games. But it makes it a little bit more interesting to me now.
It's not a bad deal, really. $100 a year for all of the EA games, basically.
If you're gonna buy two of them,
if you're gonna buy two games, it's worth it.
It's worth
totally. Yeah. It's not, but that's PC only, right? That's not
Xbox,
right?
Yeah. And again, I'm probably playing on PC, so we'll see. I haven't decided yet, but I thought that was pretty good. And then they started with Battlefield 5, which I know the three of us aren't big Battlefield fans, but what they showed was apparently really interesting. It looks like they finally learned all their mistakes, because of course there was all that hoo-ha from Battlefront 2 with all the loot boxes and stuff, and they seem to have fixed that. They added Battle Royale mode, which is good for people that like that, which is a lot of people. Again, except for us. So overall, I mean, like, there wasn't a lot of stuff for me, other than the one game that I'm super, super excited about, which of course BioWare's Anthem.
Right. Now, the one thing that did come out of this, which I thought was, okay, it's cool, we know the name of a new Star Wars game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but what a lame way to announce it. Like, seriously.
Yeah. It's almost like they didn't really plan it. It was pretty lame. I'm wondering if they're like, don't forget, we're working on this. The thing that's exciting is that Respawn, their Titanfall 2. Did you guys all play the campaign for that?
It was fantastic.
I didn't finish, but yes.
It's amazing, that campaign. That is one of the best campaigns I've ever played. And for those guys to be making a Star Wars game, that's exciting.
It is exciting, but the fact that all they can literally announce is the title. That's it. Which means, who knows, like, is it coming next year or the year after? Like, don't even bother.
It was almost like that, it was last year at the Sony press conference where they brought out all the guys like, just so you know, this one game has just entered development, the Final Fantasy VII. And and we're sitting there, why are you telling us now? We're not going to see it for like 5 years.
Yeah, it's like we've finished our hiring. We've got a secretary at the desk now at the office. That's where they've gotten.
So Glenn's reminding us that he said it would be holiday 2019 for the Star Wars game. I'm like, well, then bring it to E3 next year. Don't even talk about it.
There's been a lot of times when they've done teasers one E3 and then full trailers the next year.
This wasn't even a teaser.
They have to break up their sports announcement, though. It has to be sports game that you guys want to play. Sports game that you guys want to play. I
kind of felt bad for, and I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but the host they had. I thought she did okay. I wasn't crazy about the host, but she did, for a YouTuber to come out and do this, it was pretty good. I think she handled herself well.
She's been on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen her in a lot of different places. I like her. She's good. She seems pretty smart.
It was, now, as a super Star Wars fan, I could tell she was not a Star Wars fan in the least, because he mentioned something in his talk that said this was during the dark time of the Jedi, when the Jedi are all being hunted. She proceeds to ask, can you tell us which episode it's between? I'm like, he just said it's between 3 and 4. But I mean, that's just me as a Star Wars nerd. As soon as he said the event that's going on, I'm like, that told me exactly when it takes place. But
she's a pretty big geek. I know she doesn't necessarily look like one, but she's I've watched her do a lot of stuff. She's pretty into pop culture. She's doing an interview live. Maybe that just wasn't the answer that she was expecting, and she just wanted to get it there.
I don't know, but it was like, I don't know. That was just me and my Star Wars nerdiness coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all in all, I thought it was a lame announcement. I would have rather them said nothing and come next year with a trailer or gameplay.
Yeah,
know?
I can see that for sure.
Tico, before we talk about the big one, of course,
Yeah.
any of the sports titles, like I found they didn't spend too much time on sports, or is it?
It seemed like they spent less time than they
Yeah,
usually
it just
do.
sort of, they said, hey, we are continuing. It almost felt like they're saying, like, hey, we're still doing, this is all the stuff you guys want to see. We're still doing sports. Here are the ones that we're still going to keep doing.
Yeah.
Be honest with you, of the EA ones, it's really just the football that I'm interested in.
Okay.
Their basketball title hasn't been good for a number of years, and I don't care for the one where you kick the ball across the field.
The FIFA.
The FIFA. I don't want. We're gonna be inundated with flags and honking of horns for the next 2 weeks now, so that'll be fun.
So, of course, the big one that we were all excited for, and I can honestly say I'm more excited for it now, is, of course, Anthem. We were looking forward to more information about Anthem, and I think we got more information. We didn't really see more gameplay than what we saw last year. I don't think the gameplay they showed us told us anymore, but all the information that has come since, I think, is good. And I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm hearing about it. I'm super excited for Anthem. I think it's what I was hoping it would be, you know?
That's pretty much exactly how I feel. I had a good idea about what it was. We did learn a little bit more details about it. There has been a lot of BioWare guys on Twitter and tons of interviews and Game Informer articles and IGN interviews and Game Slice interviews, and I feel like I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Without actually seeing too much.
The flying, apparently the flying is super fun. You know?
It looks like it controls well for the flying.
Yeah. So, I'm super excited. They gave it a release date finally.
My birthday.
Yeah, and it's on. Sean's birthday.
Lucky you that your birthday happens to be the release date that everybody's picked. I don't know how you managed to get everybody to put their games on your birthday, so you don't have to pay for anything. That was a good call, though.
Well, I mean, I got a lot of people in my back pocket, so I've been talking.
Yeah.
I've been talking. You know, hey guys, you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I think a lot of people know about it. It's got all the types of co-op stuff that we love from all the other games. It's got progression systems, stories. It's got apparently a lot of the BioWare stuff in terms of storytelling and I want to say friendships, not relationships.
Yes.
Upgrade paths.
I
was a little disappointed to learn that when you start the game, you don't get to pick what suit you start with.
No, because you get all of them. This is what actually.
No, you don't.
You
don't.
You can choose your javelin as you play the game, and you can switch between the javelins.
That's not what I said. When you start the game, you only have one javelin, and it's the jack of all trades. And then you have to unlock the rest as you play through the campaign. Then you can
progression.
I like the idea of having one character for the game.
Yeah.
And you upgrade your character as well as upgrade and change your javelins.
Yeah,
right?
That is straight up ripped out of Warframe. That's exactly how Warframe works.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Warframes, right? Those frames, you can jump into any frame you want. So.
Yes, yeah.
You can switch your frames between missions, the same deal. So
well,
it's super cool. I'm super excited.
I like it. I'm really excited for this. It just reminds me a lot of Destiny. This is basically EA's answer to Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think there's any two ways about that. This is literally EA's or BioWare's answer to Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it looks like they've done a good job with it too. So I'm excited, and again, not too far off. 2019, not too far off.
What I actually love about this over Destiny is the sheer verticality of it. You know, being able to fly and the going underwater and flying up the mountains. Like, this is what they're saying is they've never built a game with this much verticality in it, right? And there are caverns underground that you can discover and go fly through. You know, and then there's, of course, the water that you can go underneath and discover. And it's neat. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to jumping in and experiencing this game. It looks so cool.
Yeah, it looks great. I can't wait.
No, me either. Anything else from EA before we move on to Microsoft?
No, man, that's about it. I'm super excited for Anthem, and the only other thing I'll say is that we didn't see any Call of Duty at all. I do not believe at any press conference.
No,
all
we
E3
didn't.
Call of Duty was completely absent.
You're right.
Yeah, no.
And I have to tell you, normally I always buy Call of Duty. Last year I bought no Call of Duty, no Battlefield. Or wait, did I buy? No, because it was Battlefront last year and I skipped it. If I was going to buy a multiplayer shooter this year, I think Battlefield 5 is the one to go for.
Really?
Because it offers more stuff. Yeah.
Still not my alley. I will not.
Still
play
not
it.
up your.
No,
Still not your cup of tea.
not at all.
I bought Battlefield 1, and I really enjoyed Battlefield 1. And I did not enjoy the last couple of Call of Duties. So we shall see.
All right. So then Microsoft was Sunday afternoon. Yeah, Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon, yeah.
Yeah, it was Microsoft. I was actually really impressed with their show. There was a couple weird things about, like, actually kind of looking at their stage and thinking it was the least impressive stage they've ever done. Like, what was with the 30 Xbox Ones all on the stage? Literally,
I think they must have hosted a party there or something like that. They must have hosted a party in that same venue where they had to have all those sets for people
and that's
to play.
what I'm wondering is if after the conference that was actually their place to come and try the games.
Yeah.
But it just seemed weird. Why don't they just bring that out afterwards? Because it felt to me like all these things are in the way of all the hosts trying to come out on stage. You know, it just seems so strange.
It was a weird setup.
You know, and then normally Microsoft is they're extravagant with all the screens around the auditorium and everything. This time they had like one screen right in the middle, you know, and a couple they had lights and stuff all around and little screens. But I don't know, it was the least impressive stage, and I don't know, that's not who cares about the stage. I enjoy stuff like that, so let's not talk about Sony stuff until later.
It'll be curious to see as we approach the next generation if the stuff starts getting more elaborate again.
Yeah,
we're mid-cycle right now. I wonder if their marketing budgets are getting smaller and smaller and stuff.
Oh, maybe,
that, so.
maybe,
yeah, could be.
So Microsoft claimed that this was going to be the biggest E3 show of all time.
They did.
It was going to be the greatest thing that you've ever witnessed in your life.
Yes, right.
I don't know if I agree with them.
I do not agree with that at all.
No, but I mean,
I am going to say it was aside from one very fatal flaw, I really enjoyed that show.
I enjoyed it too.
Really good.
I enjoyed it too. I think it was one of the better conferences out of all of the ones we're going to be talking about. It had some interesting stuff. There was not a whole lot I was personally interested in. You know, they talked a lot about, they showed the new, they quote unquote showed the new Halo Infinite, but it turns out that what they showed for Halo Infinite isn't actually the game. It was actually a trailer for Slipspace, which is the game's new engine.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, what?
So they say that they're going to take this engine and they're going to make it look more like Halo 1. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Why would they do that?
Why would you want that?
I don't understand why they're doing that. And I mean, we all played Halo. I don't know if you played Halo 1, Sean, but I know I did. Sean did. Or Tico did.
Yeah,
I did.
Tico did. Sorry, I got to point.
Yeah, that way. I'm
going to just put a little Tico sign over there that I can point at.
One there, underneath me.
I am excited. Halo 5 ended on a cliffhanger. I am excited to finish that second trilogy, even though I feel like...
Well, this isn't Halo 6, though. This is Halo Infinite. This is...
Right, but what is that then?
Yeah, well, so I whether this is another game in the universe, like I don't... This is not Halo 6. They did not say Halo 6 Infinite.
They didn't call it Halo 6.
No,
but
right.
I believe the general consensus is that they will not make a Halo 6, and they will make this instead. The name Infinite, though... Aside from being the fact that it's
also
the name of the
a Sideways
Halo
8.
4.
Just saying, it's a Sideways 8. Maybe they're announcing a couple iterations down the road. We're going to get 6 and 7 before this comes out.
In actuality, the Sideways 8 is Infinity, not Infinite.
I'm just saying, maybe it's an 8 that fell down.
Maybe. But what is Infinite? Are they wanting to make a Destiny type game for Halo.
That's what I'm wondering. The name Halo Infinite
Yeah.
sort of makes me wonder if they're more. Well, it's tough, right? Because they're like, you're going to be Master Chief, and you're going to.
That's true.
You know, so it's like, well, what exactly is going on here? Because I think that ultimately, like, don't get me wrong, I love Master Chief. I think he's. I've had a lot of fun playing as Master Chief over the years, but really, Halo needs to evolve because that type of game doesn't really exist anymore for a lot of reasons. And if we can have a Destiny type experience where we're customizing our Spartans and we're now our own character and we're going on our own adventures
and doing your own battle royale,
maybe.
You're right.
I think that makes a lot more sense. I think that makes a lot more sense for the future of the franchise than continuously doing these, 4-player co-op where you all play as the same guy, adventures. I think the game needs to evolve, and I think Microsoft is in a really unique position to do that since they're the online company.
True.
So it'll be curious. I'm curious to see what this game actually is. And again, I want to say Bungie, we go way back. I've met a lot of you guys from back in the day. I don't think you need to go back to the Halo 1 art style. I think the Halo 5 art style was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, that engine looked amazing from what they showed.
Yeah, this is great.
It looked
amazing.
Really good.
Leave it where it is.
Yeah, I mean, and then to find out that what they were showing wasn't actually Halo, it was just an engine trailer, that was really misleading. But moving away from Halo, but sort of on the same topic, of course, Gears, another big Microsoft franchise. They announced not one, not two, but 3 new Gears games. One's a mobile called Gears Pop, which is
No. Oh yeah, that is mobile.
Yeah, which is basically the Gears Pop Funko characters in a mobile game. Gears Tactics, which is going to be an XCOM style game. What a perfect franchise to turn into an XCOM style game.
That's PC.
And then, of course, Gears 5. But did you notice they did not call it Gears of War 5?
Yeah, actually, it is called Gears of War 5. Buddy made a mistake. There's a really excellent interview with Phil Spencer and Jeff Gerstmann from Giant Bomb, and they talk about that little mistake. How it's they were laughing because, I think actually Gears 5 sounds better, but it's Gears of War.
But the logo in the trailer literally said Gears 5.
I don't know what to tell you, man. That's just what the podcast said.
Okay, no, and I believe you, but it seems weird that they would use. I don't know. Why would they use a logo?
They probably have a few different logos for it. Like many of these games have 2 or 3 different logos, and that's probably just the one that looked the coolest for the reveal.
Perhaps.
I'm totally okay. I think they should change it to Gears 5. I think that's what everybody calls it.
That's what you call it.
Nobody calls it Gears of War 5.
Exactly.
We all call it, there's a new Gears game coming. Just call it Gears.
Exactly. Totally and I would agree. Which is kind of why I thought they were going in that direction.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I do want to talk about Gears Pop for a second. As a father of young children, I don't think that we should be making M-rated games into child versions of games.
I would agree with that.
That kind of rubs
weird.
Me the wrong way. It's the same thing with the Call of Duty Lego set. They're not Lego, they're Mega Bloks. But I'm like, I don't know if I really like that. I don't think that.
Yeah, it misses where who the target audience is. Like, are they trying to? Is it like the cigarette companies when they used to, have Joe Camel trying to sell cigarettes to kids? Are they trying to sell Gears to children, or are they just trying to make a kiddied version of this for adults? But they're missing what their target is, I think.
I don't want to play. If you brought me Gears Pop to Xbox, I would still play Gears. I might try it, but I wouldn't play it in earnest. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's a game. That's a kid's game. And that kind of... I don't want people to think that I'm being freaking weird about it or anything like that, but it just kind of rubs me the wrong way that they're targeting kids like that.
No, I hear you. I don't disagree. It is weird.
Gears Tactics, I'm excited for. I've never played any of the Halo tactic type games.
Oh, Halo Wars is fantastic.
Not Halo Wars, the other one.
That's real-time strategy.
I know it's
Well, there's tactics and tactically involved.
There was a Halo for mobile or something.
No, that wasn't tactical. That was not.
It wasn't tactics, but it was top down.
That was the
Halo Spartan Assault.
Yeah,
but that
was more Diablo-esque. I am excited to try this though. It would be because it is very cover based, so it would be very try. Yeah.
That would be a Gears game I would play because I do love the tactics or the XCOM style games. So that would be very, very interesting. The only 2 games that came out of Microsoft, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the show, but honestly, nothing really excited me from that show except Forza Horizon 4 and Cyberpunk 2077. Forza Horizon 4. When I was watching this trailer, and they're showing all the different seasons, which is the big change this year, other than being new location, being in Britain, they have seasons now. And what really was kind of cool is they said in the winter, lakes will freeze over and actually creates new trails,
and open new areas as well.
New areas. But as I'm watching it, it feels like it's less arcadey now than previous ones. And I'm thinking, would Jeff be interested in what we saw about Forza 4?
This was the first time I've ever seen a Horizon game, and it made me say, you know what? I'd like to play that.
It looked really great.
It did look really, really good. Because it is a Xbox title, that means I can play it on my PC, and I can still play with everybody. Because I have a 360 racing wheel. I've never invested in a new racing wheel. But my 360 racing wheel works on my PC.
Oh, nice!
So
right?
I really love that. I'm. You know what? This is one of those games that makes me go, that looks like something super fun to play. It's a beautiful game.
Oh my gosh!
And one of the big things is, if I was going to play on Xbox, I think if they said on Xbox One X, it's going to run at 60 frames per second, which is
4K.
a really big deal for me because Forza proper runs at 60 frames per second on the standard Xbox, but Horizon doesn't, and that makes it a little harder to play for me. So I'm really excited. I shouldn't say I'm excited. But I'm definitely interested in this game. I saw it and I was like, oh, and the way they were talking about the way the multiplayer works, where there's now like lots of other drivers, because that's one thing. I did play the Forza Horizon 2.
I think you played the first one. I think you played the first one, yeah.
Yeah. And the game felt very lonely, but in these type of games, like I remember there was other games I can't remember the name of now, but like driving games, not like The Crew, but like even older ones, where you would just come across other players and like, I like just the idea of like challenging a player and then going on a race.
Yeah.
Or just driving around or doing whatever.
Well, what I liked about it actually, and Glenn online just reminded us, is that what they said about this is that every car you see in the world is another player.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Not ghosts.
Yeah, there's no ghosts. There's no NPC cars just driving around. If you see another car driving around, it is another player. I actually really like that idea.
Yeah, that's cool. And again, that's one of those online things that Microsoft is in a really good position to do, right? Yeah. Again, that's why I think they need to reinvent Halo. But anyway, this game looks super cool. It's coming out this year.
Yes.
This is one of those things that might lead me to getting the Game Pass.
Well, that's October 21st, and all you have to do is grab Game Pass. You can try it out for the month for $10.
Exactly, right?
I mean, it's not a bad investment to try it out, and if you absolutely hate it, then you don't play anymore.
Yeah, you just pay $15 for it. You know, because games are only worth $15 now.
Yeah,
a month.
If you time it right, you maybe have something else fall within that same release window that you can play, and you get 2 of them for $15.
I don't know, maybe Crackdown will come. Oh wait, no, that's been delayed.
No,
again.
that's on your birthday. They moved that to your birthday.
Okay, so let's talk about that one thing that this Microsoft press conference didn't have was any big game aside from Forza, like big exclusive, landing this holiday season.
No, nothing.
There's nothing. Nothing.
Well, when's all the Gears games coming? Did they have an announcement for
Gears
it?
5 is November of next year, I think.
Oh, these are all next year things.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Gears 5. I don't know about Pop and Tactics.
And Infinite, who knows when Halo is coming?
That's November of 2040.
Can we talk about all the acquisitions that they said?
I would love to talk about the acquisition.
Yeah.
I mean, all I could think of, we've been saying Microsoft needs to do something. Microsoft they're losing ground, and all I could think of, well, you know what? If you can't win, buy all the studios.
Yeah, you guys aren't getting any games from these guys either now.
So they created a new one called The Initiative.
Yep.
And then they bought Compulsion Games, who are working on We
Yep.
Happy Few. They bought Playground Games, which makes sense because they do Forza Horizon.
I didn't even realize they didn't own them, but yep.
Yeah.
Right? Ninja Theory, of course, that just did Senua's
Great acquisition
Sacrifice.
for them.
Great one. But, what does that mean for PS4? Because Ninja Theory usually releases on PS4.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
They don't.
Right?
Nope.
And then there's Undead Labs, which also
State of
makes
Decay.
sense for State of Decay, which they've always sort of been a Microsoft company anyway. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a lot of acquisitions that Microsoft has been doing.
They need it though.
They
'Cause this is-
do.
I talked about it a few weeks ago, right? About how they built all these studios. Now it's time to start delivering. What was Weasel Name's name? Matrick. Matrick almost freaking killed the whole freaking company or the whole freaking division, and then Phil Spencer has been trying to put the pieces back together. Honestly, I'm shocked that this didn't happen earlier, but it's kind of like if these guys are all just getting these studios in now, like this generation's a wash for them.
Yeah.
They just give up and focus on the next one.
That's
and
true.
the next one,
Right.
they're going to try and do exactly what Sony did this time, because Sony's trying to start. Sony now, I feel like, is starting to get back to old Sony, which is a little more high and mighty.
Yeah.
Remember back in those days, the
Mhm.
PS3 era? So I feel like Microsoft's planning for a big push, and they're going to try and win the next gen. But
So
anyway,
Glenn online says that that's why they couldn't afford a bigger stage, because they bought all those
Probably.
companies.
Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, they announced, or they were the stage that announced Cyberpunk 2077. Big trailer for that. I've been hearing nothing but amazing things for this game since they announced it.
I would watch this just as a movie. I would watch this.
Wow.
If you announced this as a movie, I'd be interested.
Amazing looking world. I don't know what the world is really about yet. I'm interested. It's basically high cyberpunk futuristic stuff, right? Or high fantasy sci-fi. But what I'm hearing is it is a first-person shooter. Much like imagine Halo, but in first person.
with tons of RPG-ish.
Lots of RPG,
elements.
lots of story, driving as well. So it's looking huge apparently, and everybody who has played it or has seen it saying this is shaping up to be an amazing game. So I am really, really excited for this game. So I have a lot of high hopes. I think CD Projekt Red does some amazing stuff. I mean, The Witcher 3 was incredible, and if they iterate on that RPG, but with a first-person shooter, man, this is going to be amazing.
Could be really good.
Jeff, you're falling out of frame there. You keep falling down.
What the
Lower and lower and lower every time.
freaking camera?
Oh.
Yeah, no, it looks really good. I'm still cautiously optimistic because, of course, I didn't like The Witcher 3, but and it also reminds me a lot of what's that Squeenix game in Cyberpunk?
Deus
We've all
Ex.
played it.
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex.
Yeah.
When I was reading some of the write-ups, because they didn't show any gameplay, but they had gameplay, they had games like journalists to go play it. A lot of what they were describing definitely gave me impression of a very Deus Ex type game. So
That's true.
we shall see. But it looks good. The trailer is amazing.
Oh yeah, it looks incredible. Jeff, your video is really weird, and I don't understand why.
Your video is really weird.
I know. All right,
got nothing
that
on
is a lot on Microsoft. We shall move on to Bethesda. My gosh, honestly, I think Bethesda's press conference was one of the weakest, in my opinion.
Yeah. which is, you know, coming from just a few short years ago where they were amongst the tops there, and they've sort of just.
It felt so awkward. All the presentations until Todd Howard came out, all the presentations were really awkward and like there's no enthusiasm.
Yeah, they bring out Andrew WK, and like then they keep showing audience shots of people just not involved at all.
Okay, enough. I really liked it. I thought it was the best press conference.
How?
Really?
How was it the best?
Oh.
Because I think they brought out more or less all their major franchises and announced new games for absolutely everything, even if there's not a game for you. You know, they brought everything to the table. They brought Wolfenstein, they brought Doom, they brought Rage, they brought more freaking Elder Scrolls than you can throw a stick at. They brought
more of everything they own, except maybe
more Fallout.
No more. They didn't bring Dishonored, and they didn't bring The Evil Within.
Yeah, but only you like those games.
I don't like The Evil Within.
I don't even know what it is.
And I hated Dishonored too.
Rage looked genuinely good.
Oh my gosh.
It did look great.
Rage
that was a
2
great
looks...
way to open the show.
Oh man, I cannot wait for Rage 2, seriously.
It's made by the guys that make Just Cause, which I know, Sean, you don't like, but I like.
I also like that.
No, not Just Cause. Yeah, Just Cause guys.
Just Cause?
Yeah. And I thought the gunplay looked great. I thought the driving looked great. I am excited for this game. I think this looks pretty cool. It gives me a definite Borderlands vibe. I'm good with that.
Cannot wait for this game, seriously. Yeah, it looks great. It looks like an incredible upgrade to the original game. You know, like the environment looks great. The powers and the moves you have look so frenetic. Like it's just, I can't wait to experience this game.
It's nothing like the old Rage, which was sort of like, it was made by id, and id makes really good engines, but not really great games. Industry secret. They're very beloved.
Yeah.
But I think it looks great.
They bring back some of the core things from the original, which is that boomerang, and of course the car combat, which was in the original.
Yep.
Man, honestly, the whole thing looks incredible. I can't wait to play it.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead. No,
Elder. We both literally said the same thing at the same time twice. Okay, now go ahead for real.
Elder Scrolls Blades is the other thing that I'm looking forward to. A mobile version of Elder Scrolls looks kind of cool. Looks like it plays well, but also coming to basically they're going to say
consoles.
They're coming to everything. They said they're releasing this game on everything, including VR. I think
that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
I think that game would be fun in VR, and I think they said that they could, you start playing on mobile, and then you can transfer your progress to whatever other platform you're on.
Really?
So, I'm totally going to check that out.
That's cool.
It looks neat.
Okay. Anything else from Bethesda, you guys?
I got to look at my notes.
Skyrim for Alexa?
Oh, that's actually real!
It's a real thing.
That actually is real, except not in Canada.
Yeah, I know.
I downloaded Alexa onto my phone because I'm like, oh, I gotta check this out. And when you go to your skills menu and search for Skyrim, it's not available in Canada.
Yeah, I thought it was fun that they made a parody trailer and then like, what the heck? Let's just make this a game,
right?
And they put it out there so people are actually playing Skyrim.
That was amazing that they made a video literally to make fun of themselves. It was so good. I was laughing. Honestly, I think the Bethesda conference, until Todd Howard came out, I was not enjoying it. I thought a lot of things were just the presentations, not the games they're announcing, but the presentations were awkward. Then Todd Howard came out, and like I totally perked up because he is just so interesting and fun to listen to. You know?
Yeah, he's a really good speaker. I really like watching him.
Yeah, that's when things was really interesting, even though I have to say, with Fallout 76, when it was first announced, I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested. And then Todd Howard started to sell me on the game. I'm like, oh, it sounds cool. And then he proceeded to keep talking and unsold me on the game again.
Yeah, no, me too.
I'm like, I don't want any of that.
I was like, nah, that sounds kind of. I don't like survival games. Then he's like,
no,
but you don't die when you die, and you just respawn. Blah blah. I'm like, okay, I'm listening.
Right.
And then he's like, and then this person kills you, and you're like, okay.
Oh, and then, well, why don't we put a whole bunch of nukes in, and people can nuke any town they want? I'm like, yeah, I'm out. No thanks. Why would I?
They spent hours of building a town up just to have some moron who feels like some 12-year-old who feels like blowing up my place.
I mean, even though, to be honest, what they showed was it takes like 5 people to launch a nuke, because you have to find the codes, right? Not one person can carry all the codes. But still, I don't want a group of people whose sole mission is to just find nuke codes so they can go nuke everyone.
We've seen this in Sea of Thieves, where people just go around, like griefing, 4 or 5 people, like just greasing people. You don't think that's going to happen here? Of course it will. Of course
it's going to happen, and I'm out. There's no way. Now, question: do you guys think Fallout 5 will still happen after this? Do you think this is the future of Fallout, or is this just sort of an experiment in the Fallout universe?
I think this is the same sort of thing that you see with Halo Wars and Gears Tactics. We have this franchise, and we're not making enough money off of it. Let's, Fallout Shelter, Fallout 76. It's just their way of using the franchise that they have to make a little bit more money, using their IP for more things than just the one.
And to experiment with new stuff, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're bringing out more Prey, more VR stuff, and then of course at the end they teased both Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 with literally a teaser just showing the title.
For each,
and that was just like, okay, shut up, people.
That's enough for me.
It's coming. That's it. Yeah. Right? Stop asking us. Yes, it's coming.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of what I was thinking. Right? Is that the only it's very out of character for Bethesda to announce a game 4 years out.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking. It's like, okay, it's like even after we do Fallout, the next game still isn't going to be the next Elder Scrolls. We're going to do this Starfield thing that you sort of rumors were floating around, I think like 6 years ago.
A long time ago.
When they filed the trademark for Starfield.
Yeah, long time ago.
But then after that, then you're going to get Elder Scrolls. So now, 2018, Fallout 76, earliest 2020, we're going to see Starfield. Elder Scrolls 6, 2022. That's my prediction.
So next generation.
I think
it's going to be next gen.
I think it's almost a certainty to be next generation.
Oh, I do want to say one thing about Fallout 76 before we move on, because this is it for Bethesda. It looked great. I thought it was the best looking Fallout game I've ever seen.
I don't think that's it for Bethesda, because you just made me remember one last thing.
Oh, okay.
Remember when I was talking about how Bethesda said that they were waiting for a bunch of tech to develop before they did Elder Scrolls? Does this include the tech that they built for Fallout 76? Does that mean there's some sort of bizarre multiplayer stuff
I hope not. Game? Please, no. Unless I'm allowed to just invite people and that's it. But I don't want to see all other people in the world being real players like what 76 is.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they go that far. That would be...
Yeah.
That would be a nightmare scenario.
No, do not do this to Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls must remain a single-player experience. If you want to allow multiplayer, make it my own world. Let me invite you guys in type thing, and that's it. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
And let's go adventure together.
I might be okay with that, but I still like this feeling of solitude when you're playing Elder Scrolls and climbing a mountain.
Yeah, for sure. But honestly, I would be okay with the ability to invite people in and just let's go out and have an adventure. Let's go.
Like have a party.
Let's have a party. Let's go search some caverns. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It just strikes me as strange that a studio known for amazing single player experiences would spend all that time and money on a multiplayer engine.
Yeah, I know.
And never use it again.
I know.
That's kind of what has me.
That's what's scary. Unless that's what Starfield's all about.
Maybe. Nobody has any freaking clue.
Right? Starfield would make more sense to me if it was going to be a game that's connected. Like a No Man's Sky type thing where if you see another player, it's a real person.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Maybe they're looking to do something like that, and this tech for 76 is going to go into Starfield. Now, when Todd was talking to Jeff Keighley afterwards, Jeff Keighley brought that exact question up that you just said. Is, at one point, Todd, you said that you're waiting for certain tech to be available before Elder Scrolls 6. Is that tech available now? Todd said, just about. He says, we're almost there. So he said, basically didn't say no. He didn't say yes it is, but he also didn't say not yet. He said, we're almost there. So I don't know what it is, though. He wouldn't say much more than that.
Yeah.
All right. Square Enix was after Bethesda.
Square Enix.
In between Bethesda and... yeah.
This was officially on the...
This was on Sunday.
On the Sunday.
Afternoon. Yes, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Square Enix, overall thoughts? I wasn't super impressed with anything there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to Tomb Raider and to Just Cause, but other than that, there's nothing that really jumps out.
Loved the Tomb Raider footage.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. But, I mean, it's Tomb Raider. I love the first two. I've loved a lot of Tomb Raiders, but I mean, of this generation, I've loved these last two.
It looked really good. I have not played any of the Tomb Raiders, and even I was like, "Ooh, that looks like nice stuff."
Yeah, they've honed the stealth stuff. I mean, the stealth was available in the first two, but it looks like they've enhanced it somewhat, which looks interesting.
Stealth?
Oh, it's when you run headlong into the enemies with a sniper rifle.
They give you that bow and arrow to hit people with, right?
Yes,
that's what it's
that's
used
To
for.
strangle them.
Yeah.
It's a melee weapon.
Octopath Traveler is a demo we played on our Switch. It's coming soon.
There
July
is a new demo today.
Oh, good.
So apparently it came out a couple hours ago. I haven't actually gone and downloaded it yet. But when Octopath Traveler, which for everybody that doesn't remember, it's like a 2D, 3D Final Fantasy old school type game. It looks really cool. The demo was brutal hard. And apparently they've readjusted the game to make it after all the feedback came from the demo. So I'm actually legitimately excited for that. I'm happy to find a use for my Switch. So
yes, I'm looking forward to that. The only other thing that kind of piqued my interest was a game called The Quiet Man. Because they didn't really say anything about it. It looked interesting, had live action in it. It seemed to be live action or like really good looking CGI. I don't know. But then I looked it up, and the description of The Quiet Man is: The Quiet Man takes players beyond sound and words to deliver an immersive, story-driven cinematic action experience, which players can complete in one sitting, seamlessly blending high-production live action, realistic CG, and pulse-pounding action gameplay. Why would I want a game that I can complete in one sitting? Jeff, would you like to rewrite this for humans?
Yeah, I can totally do that. Let me see. Let me just... the Quiet Man developers couldn't afford a sound engineer, so there's not really any audio. We make up for this by having the protagonist a mute. Also, due to our lack of money, it's really freaking short. But we do have some bad acting like those old Command & Conquer games. There's also graphics, which is nice, and you can push buttons to make the character do stuff.
Excellent. Excellent.
Well, I mean, if this is a $5 to $10 game, great.
Right? I mean,
look,
what is
single sitting, whatever, $5 to $10 game, fantastic. I'll play the heck out of it. But if this is like, if they're trying to put like $40, $50, $60 on this thing, that's too many monies.
Have you guys ever played any of the Kingdom Hearts games?
No.
Yes.
Is it really as big as it seems like it is?
It is on the internet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it was... Glenn's reminding us that it appeared on 3 different stages at E3.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll give it a try. I mean, I've played it before. I didn't love it last time I played it. It didn't really jump out. It didn't give me the Final Fantasy vibe that I was hoping for.
It's nostalgia. It's a bunch of people that played it when they were young.
Yeah.
And now they want to play it again. I mean, I can appreciate the production quality, but in all the gameplay I've seen when they're showing off all the in-game cinematics and stuff, I'm like, I ain't playing that. That looks silly to me.
No, exactly. It does not. I mean, it's a combination. It's basically Final Fantasy meets Disney.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
no,
that
is
exactly what it is.
That's what it is.
That is what it is. But it doesn't interest me in the least for some reason. Even though, listen, I love Final Fantasy and I love Disney. but putting them together just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It just feels like it just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't feel right.
I'll show it to my kids. Maybe they'll like it. I don't know.
Leah might be interested in the whole Frozen thing that they're doing with it, so she might be interested in watching me play that. I don't.
Glenn says he finally tried Kingdom Hearts last year. He says it's not good and it's bad storytelling.
Great.
Thanks, Glenn.
We can safely avoid it. Thanks, buddy.
Ubisoft. Okay.
No, wait. Hey, we didn't get to talk about Just Cause 4. Just because you don't
I'm
like
sorry.
it doesn't mean we don't get to talk about it.
I missed it.
Enhanced grappling hooks. Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I absolutely love the Just Cause series ever since the first one. These have been fun games to play.
Jeff's ultimately favorite game.
It was my game of the year that year. It would have been my game of the year if I had played it that year.
Okay.
But I didn't. I played it really late. So I played it the next year.
Is it always the same character? It's always Rico?
Rico, yeah.
Rico Rodriguez.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. He's awesome. Yeah. I'm really excited for that game. It's stupid, crazy fun. I know, Sean, you didn't like it.
No, I did. I actually really enjoyed playing for Just Cause 3. It's just not a game I would play to the end.
I've never finished a Just Cause game because that's the one thing that I'm going to say. But I played a lot of it. I think I made it about like 4/5 of the way through before I stopped playing because something else just came out.
Yeah, I finished the first two. I have not finished the third one yet.
I will say that is one thing that I kind of hope they do manage to fix is that as you play through Just Cause, it gets harder, but it doesn't necessarily get more fun. It just kind of gets annoying because they bring out more ways to kill you really cheaply.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of superpowered. And I've never really enjoyed that in those games where it's like, oh, now it's just annoying. Now I can't fly a plane because they're just going to shoot me down. Now I can't do this. Now they've got guys that have got way too much armor and they're not fun to fight because you got to like try and do all this stuff to get them down. I would like them to make the end part, like the end last quarter of the game, more fun. And if they can do that, I'm all in.
Yeah. I found something similar. I also found sometimes the controls were not good, not great.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
getting stuck in the side of a mountain after parachuting down or something is just like, okay, that shouldn't happen.
Or a random camera angle change, so you're fighting a guy and all of a sudden the camera's facing you and you're getting killed by 40 guys. Yeah.
What I enjoyed about Just Cause, I keep wanting to say Far Cry, Just Cause 3, is I like the challenge of going into one of those towns. And I remember in Just Cause 3, I challenged myself to actually clear an entire town of all the enemies without firing a single shot. And I managed to do it. Not a single shot was fired, but I killed all the enemies in the town. You know, using the environment, by using the grappling hook to pull things down on top of them. You know, grab those, like, you can grab the guy and then tie him to something else or have something fall on him. It was cool. Not a single shot. And I like those sandbox games just to play like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's actually the best thing about it, is that it's a huge sandbox game, but they give you a lot of fun little tools and stuff. So,
yeah, exactly.
I'm excited for it.
Now we can move to Ubisoft?
Yes, we can move to Ubisoft. Let's do it.
Ubisoft. One of the most interesting openings with their dance number. It was great.
I loved it.
I did.
It was
I liked it.
They always start off with a dance number.
No, I thought it was well done. It was interesting.
I like how, I mean, I know a lot of people are like, I was watching on YouTube and IGN YouTube, which is probably the worst YouTube of all the YouTubes to watch for comments. And I was watching like tons of people complaining about it in the YouTube comments, but I was like, well, A, they're getting it out of the way early.
Right.
And B, I thought it was fun and different. You know,
it was.
I thought it was a lot more entertaining than how Sony opened their press conference.
Let's just.
But
wait.
anyway,
let's
we'll
just
get there.
wait on that. It was fun, and they didn't spend a lot of time on the game itself. They're just it's Just Dance. You know, there was no explanation as here's what's new, here's what's coming, here's all the song. No, it was just it was a dance number. Just Dance was shown on the screen at the end, and then they moved on.
Yep.
Can I say no Aisha Tyler this year?
Nope.
That was actually a surprise. I was surprised.
She has a new TV show now, so she's swearing on network television now instead of at E3.
What I liked about Ubisoft's was they actually gave more time to the developers, and it was very quick. Like, it was a developer come out, talk about the game for a minute maybe, leave the stage, show the trailer, the next developer comes out. It was quick, it was fast, it was fun, and it was interesting. You know, there wasn't a lot of long explanations about anything. You know, I liked it. They showed a lot. Of all of the press conferences, I mean, I think this is just proof that how much I mean, I just want to say, Ubisoft, just give me all the games. Just bring them. That's it. You know what I mean? Assassin's Creed Odyssey, October 5th. Division 2, March 15th. Mario and Rabbids Donkey Kong DLC coming this month.
This month, yeah.
I mean, they showed Skull and Bones, which I'm excited for.
Looked amazing.
Yeah. Starlink Battle for Atlas, which I'm excited for. You know, it's just, and that's coming in October. And if you get it for the Switch, you get to play as Star Fox. And I'm a big Star Fox fan. So now I'm torn. PS4, Star Fox on Switch. Which one do I want it on?
Where do you mount the ship on a Switch?
You can mount it on the you know, when you put the controller in the little casing when you're playing on television.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, the Joy-Con controller. But then with the Switch, once you scan the ship, it's in memory, so that you don't have to take the ships with you.
You don't need to play with the toys.
Right, you don't have to. You can. They're scanned into the memory of the game itself, so you can switch them on the fly without the toy. Cool. So on the go, you don't have to take anything with you, which I actually like that idea. So it looks like a game that would probably play and look really great on the Switch, because it's not high-end graphics by any means. It's very cartoony. You know, so who knows? I am a fan of Star Fox, so I may end up getting it on the Switch, because I would love to play as Star Fox and have the Star Fox R-Wing as a model. That would be really cool. That's actually the biggest thing for me about this game was, as a science fiction fan and a fan of spaceships in general, I love that these toys are spaceships that I can just sit on the shelf like a model. You know? It's kind of like having the amiibos that I don't even use for games. I just have them for the character. But yeah, I mean, what were you guys impressed with at Ubisoft?
Well, I'm a big fan of the Assassin's Creed stuff. I'm really looking forward to Odyssey. Division 2 looked great.
Amazing.
I mean the really crappy, you know, play acting that they were doing.
Nobody plays like that. Oh my gosh, that play acting was so bad.
It really bugged you, eh?
It really did.
I don't know. It
didn't bug me that much. I was like, oh, they're doing this stupid thing
It just
but it didn't
feels
make me cringe.
I don't know. It was very cringeworthy. It was pretty bad. I mean, most of our actual in-game thing is Sean yelling at me for running in and shooting people when he's trying to stealth something. That's how it usually goes. But Skull and Bones, I absolutely love that.
Yes.
It looks like exactly what CFC should be. You know, it looks absolutely fantastic, and it looks. I don't know. Like I'm disappointed it got delayed till next year.
Although, the Skull and Bones, one thing that disappoints me a little bit is that the multiplayer isn't on the same ship like Sea of Thieves, right? You don't share a ship, right?
Yeah.
It's you share a convoy of ships.
Convoy, yeah.
Right.
That's true.
So you're not really working together like you do Sea of Thieves, which that's
flanking and whatnot.
That part I really enjoyed, was the working together in Sea of Thieves. I would have loved to see something similar here, but it's a different kind of game. This is really about naval combat.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I mean, I am really looking forward to Skull and Bones big time.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Anything else, guys?
You know, we didn't talk about Sea of Thieves way up at the top of the notes, but you know what actually Skull and Bones made me want in Sea of Thieves is more like AI bad guy pirate ships. Because there's so much of Sea of Thieves that is really good. It would have been nice to have more to do. But yeah, I actually did want to give a shout out to Beyond Good and Evil 2. I've heard quite a bit about that game now. I know quite a bit more about it. I know that it's got multiplayer, that it's got adventures and spaceships and like air cars, and you have a ship that goes inside of another ship that goes inside of another ship.
It's pretty epic.
There's all sorts of it's actually starting to sound like it could be an interesting game. I don't know a lot about it yet.
No, what's it, right?
Like it's still very vague. But combined with what they showed last year with this year, I'm starting to get more interested. I also want to say, as a professional artist from time to time, when they brought, what was that actor's name? Gordon Joseph Levitt?
Levitt?
Yep.
Yeah.
Levitt? Is that him?
Third Rock from the Sun guy?
Joseph
Robin?
Gordon
Yeah.
Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah, okay.
Levitt.
So he...
yeah, okay.
Whatever. The dude, the alien.
The guy? The guy, is what you're saying?
He when he came out and he's like, everybody can contribute art and stuff to the game. As an artist, that put my back up against the wall immediately, because one of the things that artists always fight against is people looking for stuff for free. And during that press conference, they didn't mention anything about monetary compensation at all. And I'm like, wait, so you want people to give you content for your game? And that got me really annoyed. And I want to say, if you also got your back up against the wall, what he clarified on Twitter after is that you will be paid.
Oh.
So if you want to contribute something to the game through whatever service that was, that I don't remember, it is actually a paid gig. But it's not just like you just like, oh, I'm going to draw a texture and I put it in and you get $5 or anything like that. Like, you will have to go through an approval process. You will work with a producer, and you will basically, it'll be like a normal job, but I don't think the money is going to be that big. But
No.
you will be paid.
It sounds cool, though. It's because, it's such a huge world. I think they want, like, billboards in the world to just have custom art and for players to kind of look at it and think, I helped with this,
Yeah.
I did not get my back up against the wall. I thought it was a really cool effort.
Lots of people think it's a cool effort if they're not professional
They're not a
artists.
professional artist,
If they don't get asked every other day, hey, could you just do this one thing for me? It's like, well, that's how I make my living, right? It's the same thing for musicians. It's the same thing for... It's actually a good friend of mine is constantly fighting the government about like trying to get students to do work for free and like contributing stuff for government stuff, and it's like the government should be paying for that. Those are people that are doing work and they're providing output and stuff like that. So in my sort of like professional creative circle, we don't do work for free.
Jeff, just do it for the exposure and be happy with it, okay?
No, we don't work for exposure. Exposure doesn't
I'm
feed
aware.
children. I know. I'm just saying, for people that don't know, no artist worth their salt will work for exposure. Anyway, that's good. That's all I have to say about Good Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, it's a much better trailer than last year, that's for sure. Right? I just wish I knew more about what the game itself is.
It sounds like that game's still a long ways out.
Yeah, it really does.
It was playable on the show floor behind closed doors, and the people that got to play it were like, some parts are really good. Some parts feel like it's still very, very, very early.
Yeah. All right, so that was Ubisoft. Anything else before we move on?
On Ubisoft? No, I'm good.
Other than, what the heck, Ubisoft? Where's my Splinter Cell?
Oh, right! I thought that was a shoo-in.
I was expecting it
money
there.
On that.
And then when it didn't show up on Ubisoft, I'm like, well, then they're saving it for the Sony conference, and we're going to see it there.
Spoiler alert, they didn't.
Nope.
Know what, though? It's probably... because it's still too early. It's probably like halfway through, and they're going to show it next year.
Not good enough.
No, definitely not good enough. No. But I mean, we sort of worked ourselves up into a frenzy. We being the greater gaming community of the internet.
I know. All right, can we move on to Sony? Because Sony, my goodness, that press conference was the most weirdest.
Let's just skip it.
No.
What? Who said that?
What? Who said that? What? Who's?
I don't know.
Where did that come from? My gosh, could that have started any weirder? Like, at first, it's like, okay, they're weird. They're in a church. And
remember the old PS3 Sony commercials that were really, really weird?
Yeah.
I think they hired that guy again.
Maybe. So they start in this church, and they bring out this, like, banjo? Was it a banjo he was playing? I want to say banjo. And he just plays for 5 minutes. I'm like, what is going on here? And then they show the trailer, and I realize that they're in a replica of the building in the trailer.
Oh, is that what that was for?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're trying to do gaming the environments.
Right? But then I thought, oh, so are they going to have an environment for each of the big 4 games they have? That's going to take forever. But no, then they went to the PlayStation blog as an intermission while they moved everyone from location 1 to the main location. And it was like 20 minutes, at least, I think. It felt like it. And then they finally got to game 2 by like 9:30. You know, it starts at 9. By 9:30, they're getting to like the second game. I'm like, okay, this is going to be like 2.5 hour, 3 hour thing if they keep doing this. But no, then they stayed in the second location for the rest of it.
Yeah.
All right. And then afterwards, and I think a lot of the other, like Jeff Keighley and IGN, they didn't know when the conference was over. Because after they were done showing all the games, they went back to the PlayStation blog for interviews and talks about what was going on. So everyone's like, is it over? Should we go back to our own feed now? Eventually, IGN just cut it off and was like, okay, I think we don't know when it's ending. So it was set up so weird.
Yeah. It was, they tried to do something different. And they did.
They definitely did something weird.
They accomplished different.
And different, for sure. I don't understand what they did or why they were doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, so if I have to choose between deep looks at 4 games or what Microsoft did with 50 games, honestly, I prefer the 50 games.
Me too.
Yeah, I want to have more things to get excited about. Like the 4 games we knew about already. We were already sort of hyped about those to begin with. I mean, it's nice to get a deeper look at those, but that's show floor stuff later.
The journalists will give us a deeper look. IGN and Giant Bomb and Game Informer and Polygon and Kotaku and all these other people, they're there to give us the deeper look.
Yeah.
That showcase this is all of the crap you should be excited about for the next 15 years based off of when stuff gets delayed to. That's what it's for. Like, get us excited about all of the stuff. I want to be excited about the next 20 things I'm going to play, not the next 4.
Yeah, and with the way they did it, Red Dead didn't get any screen time anywhere. Red Dead 2, Call of Duty didn't get any screen time anywhere.
No.
Yep.
We knew Red Dead was. You knew Red Dead wouldn't be there. You've always said Rockstar doesn't do E3. You know.
Well, they used to.
I was expecting somebody. They've been on some stages before. I was expecting somebody to have ponied up some time for them. You know, like a 5-minute gameplay trailer or something for that. Like one of the big guys, I assumed would have had something on their stage.
True.
And if you weren't interested in a lot of the games they had on that stage, then it was a lot of wasted time. Because it was weird, because like during the intermission they showed a bunch of other stuff. Like during the intermission they showed a really great trailer for Destiny 2 Forsaken DLC. And I was like, oh, are they going to have more of these intermissions where they show other things? Because then that's not so bad. But then they didn't really have anything else good. So, yeah.
Overall, though, it was a strange thing. I mean, they tried to do something different. You know, they weren't. I don't think it worked, so I don't think they're going to try it again. Mm-hmm. But I did like what they showed. I really enjoyed the deep dives on those games. I wish there was more information about still what the heck is Death Stranding.
Well,
right? We still don't know what it is.
It's a mountain climbing game where he picks off his toenails at some point. So
well, all I could tell was he's a delivery, like he's a delivery guy. He picks up packages and delivers them.
Did you play Fallout New Vegas?
Yes, briefly.
You're a mailman. This is Fallout New Vegas 2.
Basically, in a really weird...
With ghosts.
Yeah. So I think we got a little bit more information, but still not what...
Oh, yeah. We know it's weird.
It's so weird. So weird. What were you most impressed with at
Spider-Man.
Sony? Yeah?
Spider-Man. Absolutely Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like Spider-Man.
That was the only game I was interested in when I'm going into this thing, and that continues to be the only interested game. Oh my gosh, I've been drinking, now I'm drunk. One beer and I'm done. Don't be a lightweight, gentlemen. That was the only game I was interested in going into the presentation, and that was the only game I was interested in coming out of the presentation. I think it looks really good. I think it looks super cool.
Oh my gosh, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
But only with the Iron Spider
Don't
suit.
say it. Oh.
I still don't love the.
I love it. I think it's great, and I think you guys are dumb.
I just don't love it. There's no tactical advantage. He's going to be spotted by.
Oh my! He's Spider-Man in a bright red and blue suit.
That blends into the brownstones and stuff like that in
oh my
New York.
gosh,
Like
Tico.
that would, and the sky is all blue. Like that's just the white thing that people see. Like that's a giant white spider up there. It's just going to throw people off.
He's doing this on purpose, viewers.
I know.
He's doing it
I know.
I think it looks great.
I think the gameplay looks amazing. It looks like it's super easy to use all these what looks like complicated mechanics.
It's just Causey, right? With all the grappling and stuff, and now you've got webs instead. I'm like,
yes,
I'm in.
Yeah, totally. I'm looking forward to this big time. You know, love what we're seeing of it. I am really excited actually for Ghosts of Tsushima. I really
what
liked what we saw for Ghost of Tsushima.
The samurai.
The samurai one, yeah. What a beautiful looking game, though.
Oh, it looks great.
Holy crap! Like in this trailer or demo they were showing, at the very end when the two of them are fighting and it's like the sunset and the red leaves are falling and the sun is just shining in your face almost. Like, I just can't believe what I'm looking at here in this game. It looks incredible. I mean, and I actually really like what I saw of the gameplay, the stealth, the fighting. I think this game is totally up my alley. I cannot wait to see more of this game. Did they give it a release date? Or did they just say it's coming?
I don't know, my eyes glazed over.
Why?
Because I don't care.
What?
It's very pretty, but I'm not into the samurai thing. I have to be able to transport myself mentally into these games, and I can't do that in the samurai world. I can't.
So
I don't care about the setting at all.
You just don't like feudal Japan.
No, don't like feudal Japan.
Okay, that's fair.
No.
Like it's the same.
When I used to play Age of Empire, I would pick the Britons and I'd play against feudal Japan, and I'd raise them just for fun.
No, listen.
Much I hate them.
I that's all I was asking was why. It was just so I understand because, and I've told you I'm the same way when it comes to World War I and II. I don't want to be in that environment. You know, it's the same idea, right?
Yeah, sure.
When it comes to feudal Japan, like and the samurai, I am super fascinated. I have a samurai sword in my bedroom upstairs on the wall. I actually really enjoy the samurai setting. And I'm looking forward to this. I think the gameplay itself looked good. And I can't wait to see more. You know? Game 2, though. Holy crap. Gorgeous game. Tico, how about yourself?
Very pretty. Honestly, like, I'm not the hugest Sony guy, as you guys are aware. But, yeah, Spider-Man and Last of Us 2 are the two titles that I came away from that wanting to play a little bit more of.
The Last of Us 2 actually convinced me to maybe give it a try because it seemed like it was less about the clickers and more about where humanity is now.
Yeah. It's
what it seemed like anyway. You know, I never finished the first game, so I think a lot of it has kind of been spoiled for me over the years, but it got too tense for me, I think, with all the clickers, and I don't know what they're zombies or what they are. They're mutated humans, right? Because some spore.
Yeah, it's a zombie game.
Basically, but it seemed like this new one is less about the mutated humans and more about the humans that are actually still alive and like these gangs and hunters and stuff, right? So it seemed more interesting and the stealth mechanic looked great. So yeah, I'm into The Last of Us 2 as well. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens when it comes out. That again, was there a release date for The Last of Us 2?
Again, I tuned out.
I don't remember.
I think I remember saying something about October, but I'm not sure.
Maybe. Jeff.
Yes.
You have Forsaken, Destiny 2 Forsaken in there, which they just showed a brief trailer for.
Yeah, it was just a brief trailer. They killed Cade.
They killed Cade.
Yeah.
What?
It's so weird, right? Because they killed Cade and they killed his ghost. Bad. But Cade is a Exo, which means that
He's basically a robot.
He could be a robot, so he might come back. Or they could use Vex time travel nonsense and all this kind of stuff. So there's lots of ways that they could bring him back, but I definitely think that it's a good way to get everybody's attention. He is by far the most beloved character in the Destiny universe.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's also the biggest name in the Destiny universe as far as voice actors go, so maybe there's some sort of reason why they would need to get rid of him, or he doesn't want to do it anymore, or maybe he's too expensive. They had a lot of big name voice actors in Destiny 1 that they got rid of and replaced them with sound-alikes, so you never really know. I hope they don't kill Cade. He's one of the best characters in that game.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, I know a lot about what's going on in Destiny. There's a lot coming. You can have shotgun primaries now. It's crazy. Like they're going all out to try and fix Destiny. So
yeah,
I'm super excited to play it. Day one buy for me for sure.
Now there was a brief. They didn't even talk about it at all, but they showed a montage of a whole bunch of VR stuff coming. And not just VR stuff coming.
The next day there was a VR thing. I think like yesterday or something. There was like a good couple of hours about VR stuff where we learned about VR, and it was good.
Yeah. Okay. So, I missed that then. So I know they announced Ghost Giant a couple days before. They announced Tetris Effect a couple days before. So those are both VR titles, and I mean, there's some interesting VR stuff coming. I don't think it's what we wanted, though. I don't think it's the AAA VR experience we've been hoping for. You know,
I want Sony to put $50 million into a VR game.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen.
And I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Beat Saber is coming. I'm super excited
on the screen,
for that.
Firewall 0 Hour. I'm super excited for that. That is like Rainbow Six.
Really?
Apparently in VR.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. So it better not be
PvP,
like that.
PvE, aim controller, moving around. That game looks super cool.
It better not be like that other game we were excited about. What was it? Alpha
it's
something?
Bravo Team or
Bravo
something like
Team, yeah.
Yeah. No. It's straight up like tactical first-person shooter in VR with an aim controller or a DualShock or whatever by a studio that focuses only on VR. So I'm like, I have hope. You could be the one. So
okay, all right. But yeah, I mean, there's still no like. I gotta, like, you know, when you get a really good game and every day you're thinking, and as soon as you get home, you just want to play more. There has never been a VR title that does that. I mean, there's some great VR titles that are fun to sit down and play with, but nothing that makes me come back again for more the next day.
Nope.
You know, and that's unfortunately what we're missing. Again, I've said it before, I don't regret getting PSVR at all.
No, I don't regret it.
No,
but I am a little annoyed at Sony.
I want more. I just want more. Yeah, exactly. Okay, finally, the last one that week was Nintendo, of course. They did a Nintendo Direct, and did they have to spend that much time on Super Smash Bros. Infinite? Or no,
I think it was like
Ultimate.
4 hours
they did.
long on the first day.
That was not something you do during it. They spent 25 minutes.
No, because the Nintendo Direct it's not like a short,
conference.
Concise thing. Now it's like a big all-day, all-week thing, announcements every day. Blah,
No,
blah,
that's
blah.
Treehouse. The Direct is usually 30 minutes long. This was 45 minutes, with 25 of those minutes being Smash Brothers alone.
You know, I was really excited, actually, because I was at work when I was watching this thing. And
it was a waste of my lunch hour.
I had to go to a meeting or something, so I paused it. And when I got back, I unpaused it, and I'm like, Smash Brothers. And I was like, oh, but I could scrub forward in time. And I'm like,
Lucky
just hovering
you.
the mouse over the scrub bar, right? I'm like, holy cow, when the bleep does the bleeping Smash Brothers end?
It ends at the end.
It hadn't ended by the time I had finished my meeting.
I know.
I still had to watch the end of it. I'm like, oh my god.
Right?
Ridley?
So you're picking that one up then?
No. I mean, yes, I'm going to have to because I have kids and they freaking love Smash Brothers, so I will definitely have to buy it.
I have bought one Smash Brothers, I think it was Melee. And
I don't even remember.
I never liked it.
Well,
No, it's not a game you play by yourself. It's a game you play
I know.
on a couch, 4 players.
I know, and that's what I did back in the day, back in the EB days, Tico.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that was Melee that came out when we were working there, right?
It was Melee, and it still holds a price tag of $75
Oh my
today.
gosh. So that was when, Diana and Omar and we all hung out together and we all played Melee, and even playing with 3-4 other people, I hated it. It was not.
I'm not a fan of that type of game.
No,
it's a
know
party
why.
game. That's all it is. I mean, some people take it very, 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 very seriously.
I know.
But not us, because we're old.
Well, speaking of party games, actually, I was excited about Super Mario Party coming to the Switch.
I've never owned a Mario Party.
I
don't know if I should be excited or not.
Well, I enjoy the Mario parties. They're fun to play, even with just a couple people. But what was interesting was they've got the technology where you can put 2 Switches together and play the games that way. But one of the games they showed was like a tank game where you could put the 2 Switches together in any configuration you want, and then tell it where they connect, and it connects that way. Like, that is cool. To me, that was like, okay, this is Nintendo taking party games kind of to the next level with the Switch, and I really like that. Although, in my circle of friends, like my physical circle of friends, I don't know anyone else who has a Switch. So,
yeah,
and
that's the thing. Is this like going to be a $79 game?
Oh, probably.
Oh yeah, it's a first-party Nintendo title. It'll be
hard pass. I would not pay that for an occasional use party game.
Well, that's just it. It's an occasional use party game, but I have enjoyed every other Mario Party game I've ever played. Daemon X Machina looked interesting. Don't know anything about it other than it looked
that was the mech
cool.
Game, right?
The mech game, yeah, looked kind of cool. I want to know more about it.
There's a lot of really bad Japanese mech games. A lot.
Well, there's a lot of them. That's the problem.
So when I see a Japanese mech game, I'm like, is this going to be one of the good ones?
Right? Who knows?
Or is this going to be one of the bad ones?
And that's why I want to know more about it.
Some are bad, but also good, like Chrome Hands, which is one of my favorite mech games on Xbox 360 by From Software. But then some are just bad. And then some are good.
Yeah.
But then some are bad.
So Glenn said that he's going to bring his Switch over so we can play Mario Party together. Glenn, I'm going to take you up on that offer, so you better mean that.
That's
a copy of Mario Party too, Glenn.
Do you both have to have Mario?
Who knows, right?
So you're going to spend
I don't know.
$60?
We don't know the details. I don't know. I mean, they've had other games where only one of you needed to own it. Wasn't Mario Kart like that?
Oh yeah, there's been lots of Nintendo games like that. I have not seen a single Switch game like that. Only
there was a Switch game like that too. I'm pretty sure it was Mario Kart.
Where do you go in the Switch to download the game then?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Mario Kart.
I think your friend had to send you a redeem code or something like that to an
invite to download it.
Code
maybe
invite to download. Yeah. I think I remember something about that.
I'm pretty darn sure that Nintendo has done that with the Switch, so they may very well do that with Mario Party as well. And the only thing about the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC did for me was make me interested in checking out Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because that DLC looked cool.
I don't know, man. That game looks dumb.
Really?
It looks good, and then I go watch Let's Plays of it, and then I'm like, that's a lot of really bad story. And I'm like, do I really want to get into that? Because I really want... Like, I am straight up, I am traveling for, like, the next week, the week after next. I'm gone, stuck in a hotel room. I'm like coming up on perfect Switch territory. Like, I want to go get a new RPG. And I think I'm just going to go buy Skyrim. Because I looked at Xenoblade Chronicles. Today, I looked at Xenoblade Chronicles Let's Play, and I was watching it. I'm like, who likes this? This looks dumb. Like... It looks childish and immature, and sometimes I can take that because sometimes the game's really, really good, but I couldn't take it. I was like, no.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I mean, it was like, okay, that looks cool. I need to look more into it, right? But who knows? I haven't...
You go. I mean, for sure.
I'll go check it out.
It's a freaking demo.
Oh, I wish they would, too. Okay, so Fortnite Battle Royale.
I played that!
Available now.
On the Switch,
On the Switch.
Yeah.
And I couldn't play it because I linked my account to PlayStation 4.
Yes.
And I was
me
like,
too.
Gah!
Many people were quite upset about that.
We were like,
so I had to go make a new one.
F you, Sony.
Yep.
Can I say that on this show? I just
I'm pretty
did.
sure that none of those things were incorrect.
It was the first time I'd ever played Fortnite. I never actually played it on my PlayStation 4, but I had linked my PlayStation account for some reason.
Right?
Because I have an Unreal Engine developer account.
So do I.
So I know you do. So I was like, oh, I'll link up my PlayStation 4. I just linked up all my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would work, so I had to go create another one. And
can we talk about that for a second? Why?
Sure.
What is going on behind the scenes at Sony?
And it's not what everybody thinks.
Okay,
I mean, first of all, Sony is evil.
First of all, Sony is being very evil right now.
It's not about cross-play and all that kind of stuff. It's about microtransactions. Because in order for you to do all that stuff, you have to agree to accept each other's microtransactions to use the same account, right? Because that's the way that it works. If you go on PC or Xbox, because your account's linked, you get all of your unlocks.
Right.
Yeah.
So they don't want to say, if I buy something on my Switch, I get it on my PS4.
Right. Sony wants you to buy it twice.
Sony wants you to have to buy it on their system.
Sony wants the money.
It's the well, I don't know if they want the money. Everybody else has agreed to it. Microsoft's agreed to it. Nintendo's agreed to it, and well, obviously the PC has agreed to it. That's where it is.
Yeah. And iOS and Android.
And iOS and Android and Apple and all, Google. They've all agreed to it except for Sony. So that's really, we've talked about this a lot about like cross-platform and all this kind of stuff, and it's something that had never really occurred to me until I read a blog article from Epic talking about like the big freaking miracle is actually that Apple agreed that if somebody bought something on Google, it gets unlocked on Apple. Right? So nobody's getting any money. It's only where you bought it, that's who gets the money.
Right.
And Sony's not on board with that. And yes, there's probably also all that other stuff, but in order for it to all play happy, the accounts need to line up with the microtransactions, which right now...
Come on, Sony. Just get your act together.
They really do. Everybody else has done it. Some people are saying that it's a little bit bad of Epic being like, hey, you should have warned us that when we signed up for this account that we could never play on these other accounts, like by linking accounts and stuff like that.
Well, yes, sure. Because they had to have known, otherwise that message wouldn't exist in the game.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They had to know.
And they could have done other things like, okay, so you're playing on Switch, you've locked it on PS4. Also, by the way, this problem has existed for a long time between Xbox One and PS4. It just became noticeable on the Switch.
Oh, okay.
Which is why it's getting rough. But they could have allowed it, and then one account, and then certain unlocks were tied to certain accounts. And then once everybody finally agrees to start playing ball, because it's inevitable, Sony cannot hold out forever.
No, they can't.
They can't, because they're going to start losing goodwill. And if you don't have goodwill at the beginning of a generation, you don't have any customers at the end of a generation.
Right.
Just ask Microsoft. But what they could have done is let everybody microtransactions are tied to your platform, but it's still one account. And then when unified account finally becomes a thing, they could have worked some magic where if you had duplicates, you got credits back that you could use to buy a new thing or something like that. Like they could have done something, but they didn't, and it sucks.
It does. And,
it really sucks.
And Sony needs to get their act together. It makes me really upset with Sony. It just it taints a lot of stuff in my mind about Sony.
I feel like my that feeling that we had why, Sean, you and I decided to go Sony this gen. I'm now feeling like, you know what? I might go back to freaking Microsoft if we don't get this stuff sorted out.
Did you just say what I think you said?
There you go.
I said freaking.
Okay. Good, thank you.
I might go back to
Sony, be aware, you're going to lose Jeff.
You're going to lose Jeff.
If you lose Jeff, you lose the war.
And Sean.
Because why wouldn't I?
Sean, whatever.
Now I get cross saves.
Thanks, Tico.
No matter where I play, I can buy a game on Xbox and play it on my PC.
Right.
Or vice versa.
Right.
They're open to working with other consoles. Like, Why are we doing the wall garden approach? Just because you're winning? Do you
Right?
want to continue to win?
Exactly.
Seriously?
Exactly. Anyway, that brings us to the end of all the conferences. So just before
does it? Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
So
How
just
many
before
hours have been involved?
we're an hour and a half in. So quickly, gentlemen, Jeff,
Yes.
best press conference. Which were your favorites? Your top two.
Top 2, Ubisoft and Bethesda.
You're wrong about one of those, and it's not not Ubisoft.
Todd Howard trumps all. I don't care.
Okay.
Even if it was just him there sitting to explain to me how to peel an orange, I'd be like, best.
Okay. Last 20 minutes of Bethesda, I would agree with you. Todd Howard's Bethesda conference, great. Tico, top two.
Yes, Ubisoft and Microsoft.
You got the top two. Correct. That is correct.
Yes.
Ubisoft and
2
Microsoft. Okay, game of show. Jeff, game of show. Favorite favorite one.
You know what? I tried to find something interesting, but I really couldn't. It has to be Anthem for me. That is like totally my type of game. I would say my runner-up is probably Division 2 because I'm hoping they fix all the things I hated about Division. But I want to give an honorable mention to Beyond Good and Evil 2, which I think is the most ambitious game at the show.
Big time, big time. Anthem, yes. Anthem, I am legitimately excited for Anthem. Hands down. I would say close second, because I love the look and I love the environment, is Ghost of Tsushima. Looks great. I'm excited to check that out. I mean, there's so many games I want to play. Like, don't get me wrong, you got Skull and Bones, we've got, the new Assassin's Creed. But of the new stuff shown, Anthem and Ghost of Tsushima as new IPs, I'm excited. Tico, how about yourself?
Well, I mean, I think I was let down that there was not a Kitty Powers 2 announced.
Right?
For me to automatically have as my pick. But so I'm going to go with Skull and Bones.
Nice pick.
It's my favorite. Anthem is up there as well. I do want a Skyrim for my smart fridge.
Everybody wants Skyrim for the smart fridge. I think they need to make it happen. Because think about it.
Etch-a-Sketch version. I dug out my pager the other day. It's not working.
Not working there.
That, so,
think about. I would love the Etch-a-Sketch version. That would. That would be good. Glenn says that his most excited is, or his top two, Spider-Man and Forza Horizon.
Yes, good picks.
Yeah, good picks as well, for sure. I think Skyrim for the smart fridge would be a smart choice because if you think about it, you'd be like, I'm hungry. I'm going to go to the fridge. Oh, Skyrim.
Yeah.
And
open up your fridge, get a wheel of cheese.
No, I think
Can I say one thing?
It'll stop you from eating. You can lose weight because you'll go to the fridge to get food and you'll end up playing Skyrim. It's a good thing. What were you going to say, Jeff?
Really weird about? I just want to say one quick thing about Skyrim. That's really weird. So I went to go buy Skyrim for Switch. Sold out everywhere. If you go to EB Games, you do the show me inventory for the whole country. It's sold out across the freaking country, almost.
Really?
Almost completely sold out. Yep.
Glenn, make that happen. Hook this guy up, Glenn.
All right. Well, actually, let's talk afterwards, Jeff. Maybe I can help you out there.
Okay.
All right. That's it for episode 300. Of course, as you remember, this is our.
Wait, no, it's not. You missed a whole category.
Oh, I did too. I'm sorry.
I added a random category that you didn't put in there, which is why he didn't know it was there.
I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm skipping ahead in the notes.
And he put stuff in the category, but he just forgot it was there.
Shut up. Listen, it's been a rough day. It's been a rough week.
Fine, I'll just shut up.
All right, Tico, what is your new category?
All right, stuff I was hoping to see announced.
Great category, Tico.
Okay. Who wants to start it off? Tico, why don't you start it off then?
Well, I mean, Splinter Cell, which we already discussed, was expecting some sort of, like, just like the three green lights showing up at the end of a thing.
Right?
You know, like, and that's all it was. Not even like an announcement of a game or anything, just that, and then fade away, and everybody's like, "Oh,
right."
But nothing.
They could have ended the show like that.
Yeah, just the three lights, and then just walk away, and nobody says anything about it.
Mic drop. Boom.
Yeah. EA, I think, missed the boat on not giving me a new Dead Space.
I know some people who would agree with you.
Because I'm
not
a fan
one of them.
that. No, but I enjoy them. I enjoy those games a lot, and I think that it's been long enough that we should have one.
Yeah, for sure.
And and the Borderlands 3 Border Worlds
We
announcement.
knew that wasn't going to be here.
I know, but I could still say that I was hoping to see it announced.
Well, that's also on my list, and let me say that Randy Pitchford said Borderlands 3 will not be there,
Exactly.
which led to the rumor that they were renaming it to Border Worlds or something like that, because at the end of Borderlands 2, they looked up, they like all these worlds and blah, 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 so...
All right, what else were you disappointed
I
seeing?
was actually kind of hoping to get Diablo 3 on Switch. I had heard rumors that was coming.
That
and
would
I
have
was
been
like,
great.
Ooh, that would have been a great Switch game.
Yes.
Yeah.
But more than anything else, and I'm going to hate on Sony for a second, I really wanted better Move controllers than I really expected them.
Yes.
You know, again, going back to the VR thing, I really feel like they abandoned VR this year so badly. I need better Move controllers.
Oh,
like,
big time.
they have to happen. There was rumors that they were coming. They didn't. I want them.
I agree.
So,
for sure. Absolutely. Well, how about we make them? Let's do a Kickstarter and we'll do our own.
Yeah, that'll do we know anything
right
about
alongside my splittable Pro controller for the Switch.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right?
We'll start our own hardware company.
Whole bunch of stuff. See how much money
How
they
hard
get.
could that possibly be?
Can't be hard. We just need a 3D printer and some electronics.
Yeah.
And then we'll just
That's
tape them together and they just work, right? Just like that.
That's exactly how it works.
That's.
Wait. Glenn also is mentioning Splinter Cell for him, but EA didn't have Skate 4, which was weird because, oddly, before the show, the Skate 3 servers turned back on.
Yes.
Really?
And there was a big rumor swirling around. Yeah, the Skate.
Well, there
4
was a
skateboarding
game, and I can't remember
Session.
Session. Yeah.
Who's
on the
Microsoft
stage.
Oh, yeah. Well, who knows? Okay, now can I say that's the end of the show?
Wait. Now you can.
Okay, good. That is it for episode 300. As we mentioned last week, we will be taking a break for the summer. We're going to take some time off. Figured this would be a perfect time to do that at episode 300. It's been 6 years. Jeff's been around for basically all 6 years of it. Chico, you've been around for, 3 years now?
I existed before that as well, but yeah, on the show.
You were a listener. Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I existed.
You did exist, but you've been on the show for almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
So we're going to take some time off, rejig some stuff, come back in the fall, hopefully with a new format and figure out where we're going from there. Now, as you all know, our good friend of the show, Sid Bolton, passed away this week. So we are going to take some time right after this. Stick around. We're going to have a little memorial for Sid, for our good friend, Gaming Archaeologist. But for now, that is it for episode 300. Of course, the show notes are at omgnexus.com as well as right here on YouTube. I am Zion Tane everywhere, and that is XIANTAYNE.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Second Place.
And I'm Jeff. You can follow me on Twitter at Sinix, SINNIX. You can follow the show on Twitter, which I highly recommend you do, at the OMG Hour. And, of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment.
So that's it. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you after the summer's all done. So enjoy your summers. Stick around for our little memorial for Sid. This has been an OMGNexus.com production.
So when I was about 16 years old, I'd been using computers for almost 6 years by that point in time, and I had sort of seen the first generation of people tossing technology, where they got a new computer and it was just the old one was out. You know, they were just throwing things away. And back then, I mean, today we have the Mac PC debate, but back in the days it was even worse because there was Atari, there was Apple, there was Commodore, and everybody had their brand favorite. And although I was pretty loyal to Commodore, I still kind of had an interest in the other machines because I'm just a curious person. And so when I started to see people throwing machines away, I was like, no, don't throw that machine away. I'll take it and I will keep it because I want to learn about it. That's where it started. And then around 16, I thought to myself, you know, one day, if people are tossing these things aside like they're trash, people are going to be happy that I'm saving these things, and one day I'm going to have a museum and I'm going to show them all. And then about 5 years after that, I had kind of gotten away from, the only video gaming I had done was sort of on the computer, and somebody brought me an Atari 2600 and offered it to me for $20 with a bunch of games, and I was like, what do I want that for? Like, it's old. Like, what do I want that for? But then I looked in the box, and I saw Pitfall. And when I saw that Pitfall cartridge, and I saw that I had an opportunity to go back into time, you know, when I was 8 or 9 years old, I took that opportunity. I hooked it up, I played it, and I was like, oh yeah. I love this. So, you know, I just started trading, and I started collecting, and I just decided I wanted all the gaming stuff. I had so much fun with it, and this is what happened. It got out of control.
So that was Sid, the very first day that I met him back in 2012. That was aired on episode 13, which was August of 2012. And, you know, over the course of the next 2 years, I attended Sid's game nights. So at his museum, he would always have quarterly or semi-annual game nights where he would basically invite the whole community, and he'd have 200 or more people in his home playing video games. He always had a different theme for the for where he'd open up his home and the museum for it. And it was in 2014 that he had a theme called Lost Treasures, in which he brought out games that people had forgotten about. And it got me thinking, you know, like I had been to several of them, so we'd gotten to know each other outside the show. And I said to Sid, how would you feel about doing a segment on the show each week called Lost Treasures, where we pick a game, you know, that people have forgotten about, and do a little history lesson on the game itself? And of course, that was the start of Lost Treasures. And that started on May 25th, 2014 on episode 104. And all in all, Sid did 148 episodes of Lost Treasures. Wow. You're going to have to excuse me because this hit me hard, you know. Last week we talked about it, Tico, that we didn't know what happened to Sid. He was supposed to be on the show last week.
Yeah, he was supposed to guest on Thursday, and we couldn't get a hold of him Thursday, and
right. And we find out Friday that he was in the hospital. Yeah. I still don't know now. Like, I don't know what happened entirely. Tico and I will be heading down to the visitation tomorrow on Friday. But it was a shock to me. Like, he and I are the same age. We've become very good friends over the last 6 years, you know, since meeting him in 2012 and having him on the show. And he's been a guest host. He was like, for the 25th episode of Lost Treasures, we had him on with Dennis Dyack, remember, to talk about, sorry, it's gone out of my head now, the GameCube game that Eternal Darkness. Eternal Darkness. Yeah. We had Dennis Dyack on the show, basically to do a live, a non-pre-recorded version of Lost Treasures, which was awesome. And, you know, Sid and I went on to move Lost Treasures into its own show, Lost Treasures of Gaming. And man, I cannot tell you how grateful I was to Sid to give me that opportunity to speak to these developers one-on-one. You know, Mark Cerny, I got to speak to, American McGee, you know, Dennis Dyack, like that's just to name a couple of them. You know, there's so many. Steve Cartwright, one of the original founders of, I think it was Activision. It was such an amazing time, and honestly, the community has lost something in Sid that I don't think can be replaced. He had such a passion for the history of computers and for gaming. He knew the facts about everything, you know? And he could talk for hours to people about this technology. He had such a passion for not just the technologies, but for the people. And he was a gamer, like, to his core. Like, he just, it's very similar to me, where he just loves games, period, you know? When a new game comes out, he doesn't complain that it's not like what he wanted it to be. He doesn't complain that, oh, they changed that. It's a new game. and I love games, so I'm going to play it. You know what I mean?
A new piece for his museum too. Like,
Well,
he was just
exactly.
Well, what was the name of his favorite game? The
Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, huge
How many
Dragon's Lair
versions
fan.
of that game do you think he owns?
Every single one of them, actually. I don't believe there is. And I'm not saying that facetiously. I don't think there is a version of Dragon's Lair that he didn't own. He had all of them, right? And multiple copies. He wrote a book about Dragon's Lair and the history of it and collecting for Dragon's Lair. He has a book showing the entire collection of Dragon's Lair and Space Ace and all of the items that were ever released for it. That's how big a fan he was of Dragon's Lair.
Well, it's his gamer tag, Dirk the Daring.
Dirk the Daring is his gamer tag, you know, and I hope it stays and never to be changed. The man was only 46 years old. This was not his time. And it's been hard. I honestly, if I can just say personally, I have never lost a friend like this. So I'm sort of at that place. I don't even know how to process this right now. I've literally never lost a friend to death. You know? So the closest I've had, of course, in my family with my grandparents, my brother died 9 years ago. But I've never had a friend, and especially someone I worked with pretty much every week for the last 4 years. You know? We would speak all the time because Lost Treasures and the podcast and just working with him on stuff. So I'm going to miss him big time, let me tell you. Like, we've played games with him. You know, the four of us play games together. We've been on the show together, all four of us. You know?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to say anything? I know I keep going on.
I mean, I just keep thinking about the last game that we played together, which was Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, Sid down in the basement, desperately trying to get you to go in the right frickin' direction.
Right? Oh my God.
Don't say left or right. Just give you the directions. Like, turn left. Like, what? Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun experience.
That was a really fun night.
It made that game better, just the four of us being able to play together.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really was. That was a great... We played for a good solid 2 hours, you know, just having fun. And then getting completely killed by some other crew, you know? Oh, man. Yeah. And he and I had played, I think, the day before where we accidentally shot each other. No, we shot a barrel just as the other walked up to the barrel and it exploded. So I did it to him by accident. I saw a barrel. I'm like, I wonder if they explode. And just as I press the trigger to shoot the barrel, he walks in front of the barrel and it blows up.
Yeah.
And then later, we're just laughing about it. Later in the night, just before we're done, the exact same thing happened to me. I walked over to a barrel just as he pulled the trigger to shoot it. And I'm like, that was good retribution. He didn't mean to do it, not like just like I didn't, but it was awesome. You know, we're laughing really, really hard about that. But
yeah. No, I remember we did that Gamerscore contest for the show.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago. I actually just got the notification, the reminder memory.
Yes.
About that, and I learned a very valuable lesson about challenging a guy with the largest gaming collection in the world to a Gamerscore chat. And I still remember because I had a barbecue on the last day, and we were close, and he was up by a little bit. And I had to call to concede because I wasn't going to be able to play. He's like, well, it's probably for the best. I mean, he goes, I've got another, 6 or 7 games just sitting here waiting to see what you're going to do for the last few hours. So if you're not playing anymore, that's good. Wife will be happy that I don't have to do this anymore. But it was just a fun thing. Yeah, like we almost, between the two of us in, I think it was a week, we did almost 50,000 Gamerscore between the two of us.
That's pretty much my Gamerscore.
Yeah.
Of 10 years.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
and
exactly.
Just did the back and forth and just, shooting messages back and forth, trash talking back and forth. He'd watch something that I played and he'd pop that and back and forth. It was a great thing, and it was fun.
Sid was a big pillar of the Brantford community. He hosted all the game nights. He was on the radio. He did columns for newspapers.
CNET, I think he had a column in CNET as well.
Yeah, CNET. Mark Saltzman, who does a lot of tech videos, would always use Sid as a reference if he needed something. And I believe Victor Lucas, always used Sid for stuff for EP. He was much loved in the community, in the gaming community. He's known, and this is a hard hit on that community, because I don't think anyone else can. There's no one who can replace his passion for community, his passion for games, and for the history of electronics. Just his passion to bring that history to other people. Like he wanted that museum so that people don't forget kind of where we came from. When it comes to not just computers but video games in general. Where does it go from there now? He was amazing, and he was so friendly, and he just loved everyone, and he was so humble about it all. Like, it was incredible. He's so generous. And I mean, who opens up their home to 200 plus people?
Who starts a museum?
Yeah, right.
He's the only person I've ever met. I'm going to start a museum.
Yeah.
It's going to be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Hold my beer.
I'm going to start a museum because at 16 years old, as you heard when we started this, 16 years old, he saw people throwing electronics away thinking, hey, I could start a museum with this stuff. People are going to want to remember these things they're throwing away. And that's what he did. So Glenn is watching us right now. He said he met Sid in person around 2005 or 2006 when Glenn was the assistant manager at Linden Park Mall EB Games. He had heard of him, and he came in. He didn't tell Glenn who he was, but he got into a conversation with Sid about gaming, and his knowledge and passion came through. And he remembers after work asking his coworkers if he knew who that was after Sid left, and his coworker was like, "That's Sid Bolton." And when I heard more about what he was doing, I was impressed with his dedication to the industry, and in the last year, learning more about all the things he does for the city. And that's just it. He does huge things for his own city, for his community. Yeah. The passion was unmistakable. He is definitely going to be missed, and he's gonna leave a hole in this show. He leaves a hole in my heart, let me tell you. And who knew when we started Lost Treasures that our gaming archaeology himself would be our final lost treasure? So, Sid, we love you. We miss you. I think that's it. Guys, you want to say anything else?
Rest in peace, buddy.
Yeah, rest in peace, Sid. We'll miss you.
I'm gonna leave it here. We're gonna go back. We're gonna watch his very first lost treasure, just to say goodbye to our own lost treasure.
Lost Treasures with your gaming archaeologist, Sid Bolton.
Sometimes the lost treasure isn't found in local soil. Instead, it can come from far, far away, such as the land of the rising sun. In fact, the lost treasure I want to share with you today does come from Japan, and its name is Ikaruga. In my experience, when you say shooter these days, everyone starts talking and thinking about the latest Battlefield or Call of Duty. But back in the old days, shooters were two-dimensional masterpieces, and this game is no exception, although it does have a few minor 3D elements to it. Developed by Treasure in 2001 in the arcade and subsequently on the Dreamcast and GameCube, you can also find it on Xbox Live Arcade, Android, and even Windows earlier this year. Besides the fact that the game was developed by an incredibly small team of only 4 people, it has, in my mind, 2 things about it that really stand out. First, enemies are of 2 polarities, either black or white. Your ship can also be switched from black to white, only bullets of the opposite polarity can kill you, and same polarity bullets are absorbed and converted into energy that is used by the game's special weapon, the homing laser. Treasure previously experimented with colors and polarity in the title Silhouette Mirage, but really fleshed out the concept in this game. Shooting an enemy with the opposite polarity bullet will cause double damage, and so switching back and forth at the appropriate time is the key to a successful game. The other interesting mechanic is that even on the home console versions, the game supports a vertical mode. Old school arcade games use screens that are primarily vertical in nature, as opposed to the widescreen horizontal screens we have today. As a shooter, this gives you much more room for the bullets to travel. Although it can be difficult depending on your screen to put it on its side, it certainly makes a huge difference if you can. I've done this myself a few times at game night, and it's been very, very successful. For a game that was made around 13 years ago, Ikaruga still has legs. Until it hit Xbox Live Arcade in 2008, the game was only available in North America officially as a GameCube release, which has maintained its value if you try to buy it today. Now, original Dreamcast versions are going for big, big bucks as the game has obtained somewhat of a cult status. If it's not enough to try and dig up this lost treasure on its own merits, I suggest you also seek out Radiant Silvergun, since Ikaruga is actually a spiritual successor to that game. So there you have it, folks. Some great lost treasure for you, and until next time, I'm Sid Bolton, your gaming archaeologist, seeking out the greatest games you may not have heard about and bringing them to you here, right here, on the OMG Hour.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.